This is TLIR. The internet is long. Let us read it for you. What follows are congratulations to Joe Biden on winning the 2020 presidential election from various world leaders. Statement by President Barack Obama congratulating President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, November 7th, 2020. I could not be prouder to congratulate our next president, Joe Biden, and our next First Lady, Jill Biden. I also couldn't be prouder to congratulate Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff for Kamala's groundbreaking election as our next vice president. In this election, under circumstances never experienced, Americans turned out in numbers never seen. And once every vote is counted, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris will have won a historic and decisive victory. We're fortunate that Joe's got what it takes to be president and already carries himself that way, because when he walks into the White House in January, he'll face a series of extraordinary challenges no incoming president ever has. A raging pandemic, an unequal economy and justice system, a democracy at risk, and a climate in peril. I know he'll do the job with the best interests of every American at heart, whether or not he had their vote. So I encourage every American to give him a chance and lend him your support. The election results at every level show that the country remains deeply and bitterly divided. It will be up to not just Joe and Kamala, but each of us to do our part, to reach out beyond our comfort zone, to listen to others, to lower the temperature and find some common ground from which to move forward. All of us remembering that we are one nation under God. Finally, I want to thank everyone who worked, organized, and volunteered for the Biden campaign. Every American who got involved in their own way, and everybody who voted for the first time. Your efforts made a difference. Enjoy this moment, then stay engaged. I know it can be exhausting, but for this democracy to endure, it requires our active citizenship and sustained focus on the issues, not just in an election season, but all the days in between. Our democracy needs all of us more than ever, and Michelle and I look forward to supporting our next president and first lady however we can. Statement by President George W. Bush, November 8th, 2020. Dallas, Texas. I just talked to the President-elect of the United States, Joe Biden. I extended my warm congratulations and thanked him for the patriotic message he delivered last night. I also called Kamala Harris to congratulate her on her historic election to the vice presidency. Though we have political differences, I know Joe Biden to be a good man, who has won his opportunity to lead and unify our country. The president-elect reiterated that while he ran as a Democrat, he will govern for all Americans. I offered him the same thing I offered Presidents Trump and Obama, my prayers for his success and my pledge to help in any way I can. I want to congratulate President Trump and his supporters on a hard-fought campaign. He earned the votes of more than 70 million Americans. An extraordinary political achievement. They have spoken, and their voices will continue to be heard through elected Republicans at every level of government. The fact that so many of our fellow citizens participated in this election is a positive sign of the health of our democracy and a reminder to the world of its strength. No matter how you voted, your vote counted. President Trump has the right to request recounts and pursue legal challenges, and any unresolved issues will be properly adjudicated. The American people can have confidence that this election was fundamentally fair, its integrity will be upheld, and its outcome is clear. The challenges that face our country will demand the best of President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, the best of us all. We must come together for the sake of our families and neighbors and our nation and its future. There is no problem that will not yield to the gathered will of a free people. Laura and I pray for our leaders, their families, and our nation, and we urge all Americans to join us in wishing our next president and vice president well as they prepare to take up their important duties. Statement from President Clinton. America has spoken and democracy has won. Now we have a president-elect and vice president-elect who will serve all of us and bring us all together. Congratulations to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on your momentous victory. Statement from President Carter. Rosalind joins me in congratulating our friends President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. We are proud of their well-run campaign and look forward to seeing the positive change they bring to our nation. Former Vice President and Democratic nominee for president in 2000, Al Gore said, "Today marks the beginning of a new commitment to self-government by, of, and for all of our people, and I wholeheartedly congratulate President-elect Joe Biden on his inspiring and renewing electoral victory. Having served alongside Joe in the Capitol for 24 years, I know he will lead our nation forward with principle, compassion, and strong moral conviction. We are at a tipping point in the global fight to solve the climate crisis. President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris have an unprecedented opportunity to reassert American leadership on climate and seize upon the enormous benefits of a clean energy economy. In doing so, Joe Biden can help to heal the divisions in our country, greatly improve our health, and provide the presidential leadership we need to eradicate the virus, end the recession, and repair the deep, enduring wounds of structural and institutional racism and injustice. COVID-19 and the cascading social and economic crises it unleashed have revealed deep-seated inequality and injustices in American society that the majority of Americans in all groups have decided we can no longer ignore. It has also exposed how the fossil fuel economy has hurt the health and security of our people and our friends and neighbors. I strongly believe the last 4 years of grassroots action and activism, led by Americans of every age, race, class, and creed, have prepared us to meet this moment with the urgency and imagination it demands. In the last few months alone, millions of Americans have marched in the streets to demand action on the climate crisis, justice for all, and to declare unequivocally that Black Lives Matter. With care and kindness and the fierce urgency of now, Americans have organized their communities to provide for their families, friends, neighbors, and frontline workers. They then took the fight directly to the polls, and both our country and democracy itself are better for it. Now is the time to translate this momentum into a just and equitable recovery program centered on clean energy solutions. Now we must restore American leadership on the global stage and push the community of nations toward greater ambition on climate. We must protect frontline communities first and reenact safeguards from pollution for all Americans. With strong, committed leadership at every level of government and an engaged citizenry, I am more hopeful than ever that we can and will solve the climate crisis and together usher in a new era of prosperity and opportunity for all." 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton said, "The voters have spoken, and they have chosen Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be our next president and vice president. It's a history-making ticket, a repudiation of Trump, and a new page for America. Thank you to everyone who helped make this happen. Onward together." 2012 Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney: "Ann and I extend our congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. We know both of them as people of goodwill and admirable character. We pray that God may bless them in the days and years ahead." Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau: "On behalf of the Government of Canada, I congratulate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on their election as the next President and Vice President of the United States of America. Canada and the United States enjoy an extraordinary relationship, one that is unique on the world stage. Our shared geography, common interests, deep personal connections, and strong economic ties make us close friends, partners, and allies. We will further build on this foundation as we continue to keep our people safe and healthy from the impacts of the global COVID-19 pandemic, and work to advance peace and inclusion, economic prosperity, and climate action around the world. I look forward to working with President-elect Biden, Vice President-elect Harris, their administration, and the United States Congress as we tackle the world's greatest challenges together." Archbishop Jose H. Gomez, on behalf of American bishops: "We thank God for the blessings of liberty. The American people have spoken in this election. Now is the time for our leaders to come together in a spirit of national unity and to commit themselves to dialogue and compromise for the common good. As Catholics and Americans, our priorities and mission are clear. We are here to follow Jesus Christ, to bear witness to his love in our lives, and to build his kingdom on earth. I believe that at this moment in American history, Catholics have a special duty to be peacemakers, to promote fraternity and mutual trust, and to pray for a renewed spirit of true patriotism in our country. Democracy requires that all of us conduct ourselves as people of virtue and self-discipline. It requires that we respect the free expression of opinions and that we treat one another with charity and civility, even though we might disagree deeply in our debates on matters of law and public policy. As we do this, we recognize that Joseph R. Biden Jr. has received enough votes to be elected the 46th President of the United States. We congratulate Mr. Biden and acknowledge that he joins the late President John F. Kennedy as the second United States President to profess the Catholic faith. We also congratulate Senator Kamala D. Harris of California, who becomes the first woman ever elected as Vice President. We ask the Blessed Virgin Mary, patroness of this great nation, to intercede for us. May she help us work together to fulfill the beautiful vision of America's missionaries and founders, one nation under God, where the sanctity of every human life is defended and freedom of conscience and religion are guaranteed. The Dalai Lama. As you may be aware, I have been long an admirer of the U.S. as the anchor of liberty, democracy, religious freedom, and the rule of law. Humanity places great hope in the democratic vision and leadership of the U.S. as leader of the free world. Particularly in these challenging times, I hope you will be able to contribute to shaping a more peaceful world in which people suffering poverty and injustice find relief. The need to address these issues, as well as climate change, is indeed pressing. May I also commend you for your choice of a woman, Kamala Harris, to be your vice president. Following my devolution of political authority over matters relating to the cause of Tibet to the elected Tibetan leadership in exile, I have been committed to promoting human values, religious harmony, and the principles of nonviolence and compassion, which I believe are very much needed in today's world. I would like to thank you for supporting the Tibetan people during your time in Congress and the previous administration, as well as for your statement in September this year. It has been the Tibetan people's good fortune to have received the friendship and encouragement of the American people and their respective presidents in our endeavor to protect and preserve our ancient Buddhist culture, a culture of peace, nonviolence, and compassion that has great potential to benefit humanity as a whole. On their behalf, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude once again. I wish you every success in meeting the challenges that lie ahead in fulfilling the hopes and aspirations of the people of the United States and in contributing to a more peaceful and harmonious world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Congratulations, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Joe, we've had a long and warm personal relationship for nearly 40 years, and I know you as a great friend of Israel. I look forward to working with both of you to further strengthen the special alliance between the U.S. and Israel. German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Congratulations! The American people have made their decision. Joe Biden will be the 46th President of the United States of America. I sincerely wish him the best of luck and every success, and I would also like to congratulate Kamala Harris, the first female Vice President-elect in the history of your country. I look forward to working with President Biden. Our transatlantic friendship is indispensable if we are to deal with the major challenges of our time. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Congratulations to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on the victory, and to the Americans on defining the new leadership in a free and fair election. This is a privilege which is not available to all countries. Looking forward to the new level of cooperation between Russia and the U.S. TLIR does not necessarily endorse all that is read on this channel. If you would like to suggest an article for TLIR to read, let me know. Put it in the comments. This audio recording may contain copyrighted material, the use of which has not been specifically authorized by the copyright holders. TLIR makes such material available to advance understanding in the digital age. In accordance with Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, the material in this audio recording is distributed without profit to the distributor.